Well, hello. How is everyone? I am so excited to be with you again for another Fertility Hot Seat. For those of you that don't know what this hot seat is, it is me coming to you live every other week, forever. And I'm going to pick one of you who requests to join live to come on and get a free 15-minute consult with me. So a couple things. We got to acknowledge that I am not a medical doctor. I am a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine. I've been practicing for almost 17 years. I know a lot about fertility, but please know that this is not medical advice. This is my insight on your case based on my almost 20 years of clinical experience. I also wrote the best-selling book called Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. So I know a thing or two. Helped a lot of women on their path, and I love to be a fertility detective. I love to help you figure out what the F is going on so I can help you get pregnant faster. So let's see, who wants to join me today? We already have 21 people live. You guys are psyched for this. At first, when we first talked about this, we were like, do we have to plant a couple people at first? But there's been no planting. You guys are just in it to win it. So let me see. Oh my gosh. We have I have like 4 people that have asked to join. I'm going to pick you, Annetta, the wellness designer. The other people, you guys try again in 2 weeks, okay? Let's see. So Annetta is coming on live with me. I need a pen and a paper. So hi.
Hi, Amy.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so thrilled to be here. And let me tell you how much in awe I am of your work and your experience.
Thank you.
It helps me a lot. It helps a lot my clients. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome, Annetta. I saw you posted this morning on the post, and I did. I went on your Instagram page and I saw some of your work. So thank you for your work. And then I thought, I want to help her. I want to help her figure this out or guide you. But you heard what I had to say, right? I'm not a medical doctor, so this is more just my advice based on my experience, right? You got that part. So tell me what's going on. And thank you for coming live and sharing, because I know that's...
Oh, thank you.
I know that's a big deal for some people, but sharing lifts the shame, right?
It is a big deal. I know we've got very little time, so let me start from the beginning. I'm 41. We decided last September we tried to get pregnant when I was 40.
Okay.
We got pregnant first time trying.
Okay.
We got pregnant. Then it turned out we had chromosomal abnormalities. So it was sadly Down syndrome and other things. And so because there were other things, we needed to terminate. This was recommendation. We had to terminate.
The right thing. Yeah.
We terminated end of January because we only then got confirmation. It's gone all through Christmas. Unfortunately, it was second trimester, so physically and emotionally draining. We were told, give it 3 months. Oh, I needed 3 months emotionally to heal. I wanted my natural period to come back. My period got back within a month.
Good.
We gave it 3 months. May, I got pregnant again, first time trying. And 8 weeks we went for scan, there was no heartbeat. So this was few weeks ago. So this was heartbreaking because yes, this was heartbreaking. So where we are right now, I get my period very regularly since the first time ever since my teens. So very regular period, always very heavy and painful, sometimes clots. In September last year, when we decided we would start getting pregnant, I had blood work done. So most of all thyroid, because I'm DH.
Yeah.
Thyroid is fine. Everything looked fine.
And so I mean, usually with thyroid fine, I usually still ask for the numbers, but I know what you do for a living. So thyroid and functional ranges. Okay. So
thyroid was fine. I've been on bone broth forever. since April, I started taking Dr. Ron's and your advice. I was taking omegas, my omegas, but since your recommendation, I ordered the one from the US, the one that you recommend, the fermented cod liver oil.
And how much
So
are
I've
you
been
taking
taking,
of that?
I've been taking 2 of those and 2 of
Two capsules?
Mhm.
So increase that right away up to, if you can, go up to 8 capsules a day, or on the next batch, order the liquid and do a full like a full syringe and a half, because
Sorry, of cod liver
of
oil
cod
or
liver
liver?
oil. Yeah. Liver, just 2 a day is perfect. Cod liver
Yeah.
oil though.
But the recommendation is only 2 a day. And I was thinking maybe I'm actually should be taking down to 1.
So for liver or cod liver oil?
Cod liver, the fermented cod liver oil.
So 1 capsule a day on the
I'm
bottle?
taking 2. It says the recommendation is 2. So I'm
Yeah.
taking 2 of
So
this.
2 is only, I would recommend, just based on what's happened so far, you know, my initial sense is, you know, generally speaking, some kind of inflammation is not allowing embryo to thrive. It could also be a clotting factor issue. And then also with the painful periods, and they're heavy sometimes, I, you know, automatically start to think about endometriosis. So the first thing I do is I give them a double dose of fish oil, because it's one of the best things to lower inflammation. There's interesting research too to support that. If you look up research, just omega-3 to 6 ratios and inflammation and pregnancy outcome, you could just Google that. But so 2, I don't have a bottle in front of me, but usually the recommended dosage is 2 capsules 2 times a day. And so I'll have girls start usually at double that, 8. And then you can even go, I have some fertility doctors that recommend up to 4 grams of fish oil a day, which comes out to be about 12 of those capsules, which is a lot. Or if you get the liquid, 1.5 syringes. But you could just, at the very least, I would still go to 6 at the very least. And you can DM me after this and I'll send you supporting documentation on that if you want, just so you have it too for your clients. But that's the first place I will go to, is increasing those omegas. And ideally, you know, what we do, and it seems to work, is 3 to 4 grams in cases where, you know, some of these symptoms that I'm seeing right away for you. The liver's good. Okay, so go on. So liver, cod liver.
Liver, cod liver oil, of course, folate. So I'm taking, we've got a brand here in the UK, which is the natural folate. I'm taking 600 grams of this, but apart from that, my daily diet is rich in folate food. So loads of spinach, spirulina, good quality meat, good quality eggs, hardly any grains, virtually no dairy. Actually, if only I'm eating out, that's when I'm not aware.
Okay.
No processed sugar, some fruit only in the smoothies. I never drank alcohol, so just my family doesn't. And first pregnancy put me off coffee, so I never got back on caffeine. I only drink green tea sometimes. You write on the inflammation because either when I get emotional stress or when I'm close to external toxins, I get eczema, but just on the right hand.
Isn't that funny? Okay.
So just there, and sinusitis, that's something that I'm prone to. And I've already, from the very beginning of my period, I begged the doctors to check endometriosis because this was very painful and heavy, obviously, and clots. No, supposedly everything is fine. They've checked the lining. They say it's thin and normal for my age and everything else. So
yeah, I mean, you know that you can't diagnose endo unless you actually go in laparoscopically. All I try to do, I mean, I don't recommend laps to every single person by any means, but the number one way we try to work from a Chinese medicine perspective is to try to just get those symptoms to go away. And so your diet sounds right, like highly, you know, anti-inflammatory. I'd also recommend watching nuts and seeds. Like I'd look at my body belief style diet. I don't know if you've already gone that far. Yeah.
I've just finished that book and I quit all the nuts. I loved my nuts.
I know.
I'm only kind of trying to take pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, maybe just in the salad or something, sprinkle.
A lot of times are okay. And it's moderation, right? So sprouted versus raw. I think the sprouted are a little easier on our body, and just from the lectin perspective, if it's causing inflammation. And enough carbohydrates you feel in your diet, like sweet potatoes, squash, that kind of thing, plantains. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, so starchy veggies.
Good.
So grains are out. I'm using potatoes, so red or white
Good.
potatoes
Perfect.
or root veggies.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
so loads of soups. I either drink bone broth, I make soups based on bone broth. Fish or meat daily.
Okay.
Eggs daily.
And then you didn't get any tissue tested on this 8-week loss, right?
No, because the heartbeat was gone, and because there was no heartbeat, they thought it never developed beyond 5-6 weeks.
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't have to get too deep into it, but obviously that sucks, so just give yourself a lot of space and grace as much as you can. I would say the upside is you're getting pregnant. I would, if you came to me, I would say, okay, let's take 3 months. Let's do the body belief diet. Let's increase the fish oil. Let's get the nuts and seeds, or at least the nuts and the nightshades, some of those things in the body belief diet out. I want to see that period get better. I want to see less cramps get better. I want to see, the other thing I would ask for is what's called the miscarriage panel or the clotting factor panel. And, depends on the doctor, but for you, what you could do, especially if there is a history of stroke or anything like that in your family, you can get a referral to a hematologist and have them do it. Tell them there's been 2 miscarriages, 2 losses. Because a lot of the standard fertility docs are going to go right to your age, which obviously how I feel about that, and don't think it's that big of a deal. You're fertile, and I always think like nature is smarter than that. It's not going to keep picking like a bad egg. It's probably more about the uterine environment, or the environment in which those eggs are developing. I would probably look at sperm too, or at the very least just put him on what we have as like my healthy daddy diet. I did an Instagram live a few weeks ago on sperm health. So I would just adopt some of those things for your partner. And then for you, same thing, and just keep processing emotionally too. And in the thyroid, right, your antibodies have been cleared, right? You don't have any antibodies that's been checked. Yeah. Okay.
That looked good in September, and I'm feeling okay. I always look at the hairstyle situation,
Yeah.
but I'm really, I don't even have gray hair yet.
Yeah.
My skin is, because I know you always look
you
at
look
skin
amazing.
and stuff, and
you look like you're 27.
Thank you.
You do. So it's like, the miscarriages absolutely blow. And I mean, you've probably heard me say too before, and this is something I learned from a fertility doctor that I really respect and admire, that you really shouldn't have consecutive miscarriages. It's like nature smarter than that. And so my sense is that maybe there's a little endometriosis or some, again, not a medical doctor, can't diagnose obviously, but my sense from my clinical experience, or what we would say in Chinese medicine, is some blood stagnation and probably some cold in the uterus. And so we want to just keep working. I would do castor oil packs, acupuncture, Chinese herbs if you can, and let them do a proper diagnosis on you. And then I would follow the body belief diet as best you can. Make sure you're getting enough carbohydrates in there. I would also get a clotting factor or a miscarriage panel. And yeah, 600 folate, you're right. With the liver and your diet, you're probably getting plenty there. And I would increase that fish oil. What else? What other questions do you have for me? We got, I think 5 minutes left. So yeah, we still got time.
Thank you. You mentioned Chinese herbs, but I'm unsure what that means. What I'm aware of, I drink nettu, I drink ladies' mental tea, because in my culture, that's the tea that causes the blood circulation in uterus. So I drink that tea. I'm not sure what you think about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that with castor oil packs, and then if you can get some acupuncture, because it's just so good for uterine blood flow to really warm things up. And then Chinese herbs is really like, I'm an herbalist, right? So I like to see my clients, or at least get like a really detailed intake. And then I devise an herbal formula for them, and I have them take it for a couple months. And for you, again, I would go after, because you're living such a healthy lifestyle and as non-toxic as possible. And I feel like you're doing so many of the things, but you still have these heavy, painful periods with clots. So I want to get to the root of that, because that's telling me there's blood stagnation, and that blood stagnation is most likely not allowing enough healthy blood to get to that embryo to develop properly, right? And I am kicking off that reset program sometime soon. I think this week, end of this week, which is, it's free, it's 5 days. And it'd be good for you from the emotional perspective too. Like I just recorded the first meditation this morning, but about releasing and just like letting yourself feel all the grief and that type of thing. But also, you seem, and I could be wrong, I don't know you, but you seem inspired by this, and you're going to figure it out, right? You're going to be your own detective, and this is, you know, probably, and I went through it, so I can say it, just part of your service. You know, you're gonna help become more of an advocate on this side of things. Not that I think anybody needs to suffer to serve by any means. I don't think it's like that, but you know, just keep working, using yourself as like, okay, this is the template that I'm learning from, and I'm going to help figure this out, and I am going to get to the other side of this. And you will get to the other side of it. But I would like a little blood work done, and by the hematologist, and you could also ask them if it was safe for you to take a baby aspirin in your luteal phase, because that could really help too. But I personally would, just for your heart more than anything, at least take 2 months off and just kind of, you know, realign, reconfigure, see what resonates with you, what feels right. A lot of meditation, prayer, if that works for you, you know, and just try to receive the guidance, because it sounds like you know what you need, and you're very close to it. So just staying the course now.
Thank you.
Sound? Oh, you're welcome.
It sounds good. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful. However, you know, every single time you just feel like you feel heavier in your heart. So
it's devastating. It's devastating when you want something, and also it's come so easily to you both times. You know, that's just, and I think too, emotionally, you know, be okay with the fact that the next time you're pregnant, you're going to be anxious, you're going to be scared, you know, and just really like one positive result at a time, you know. So and I think that's it too. Like your mantra is just like, you know, I am fertile, and it's just about creating, like, my sense is just like that right uterine environment for this baby to thrive, you know. So there's just a couple kinks in my system. I'm going to work it out, but I'm fertile, I'm healthy, and, you know, I'm on my way to being even healthier.
thank you.
You're welcome. There are some questions here. Oh, okay. So people are asking about the cod liver oil. Yes, that's on my site. Do I think baby aspirin is okay? So, I mean, in a situation like this, I think it's not going to hurt anything. I do tend to think in women over 40, we tend to have more of these. Just, I think the body just becomes a little like hyper aware of stuff, you know? And so, but I still would recommend a workup with the hematologist before you just go and take a baby aspirin. And so,
Is it,
go ahead.
Can I just ask, so where I live in the UK, they recommend aspirin for preeclampsia in pregnancy. This is what you're talking about?
Same thing, 81 milligrams. That's what it is in the States. It's a low dose aspirin, and it's the same thing. So we see it from a Chinese medicine perspective. The reason why it helps with preeclampsia is because it's a blood stagnation issue. And so it thins the blood just a little bit.
Okay.
So we have a classic Chinese formula for this too, Dongui Xiaoyasan. But you could, you know, you're in the UK, herbalists are there. Like, I would go and see an herbalist and get a workup from them. I think sometimes they're acupuncturists and then there's herbalists. Sometimes there's both. A lot of my girls have one and then the other. But, you know, I would do, like in this situation, you were my client, I would do like 2 months of herbs to just kind of clear things out and say, don't try these 2 months. And then the dietary shifts and a couple of the tweaks and the supplements. And then, when you feel emotionally ready, because you're very fertile, that's when you get back in.
Okay. And also, you know, that's another school of fertility local here that I follow as well. They recommend CQ10 instead of aspirin for preeclampsia. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, because CoQ10 also thins the blood. So does liver. Liver has vitamin K in it. It thins the blood. Cod liver oil thins the blood. Vitamin E thins the blood. So there's a lot of different things you can do. I've seen a lot of docs, they'll say even on the CoQ10, because you usually should stop the CoQ10 once you're pregnant. You don't need it. And so the baby aspirin just seems to be the more reliable thing to take, and more benign. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then there's some more questions coming in. Can you elaborate on blood clots during your period? I think, yeah, it's a sign of stagnation. So, but we're talking like clots, like nickel, quarter, dime size clots. When they're tissuey, kind of wet Kleenex looking like, not a concern. That's kind of your lining shedding, but clots, and especially pain, is stagnation to us. So it's basically saying, you know, there's stagnation. It's usually cold stagnation in the uterus. And that's not forming a very uniform lining for implantation to happen. And so castor oil packs, herbs, acupuncture, my favorite things, Mayan abdominal massage, those are the best things to help with that stagnation down there. Sometimes I'll do cupping on the abdomen. I mean, it kind of just depends on the patient. But yeah, we don't like to see clots, cramping, heavy bleeding. We like to see, like, day one is the heaviest, then it starts to taper for day two. It's a bright red, very little clotting, very little cramping. Period comes on with very little symptoms. All of this is in my book, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, and what a period should look like. We're not robots. Every cycle can change. But in this case, you know, with what's going on here, you know, and I don't know the whole case, but I think of the eczema, a little bit of inflammation, and, you know, this period stuff, and then the miscarriages, that's where I go right away. It's like, just got to make that uterine environment more hospitable. Okay. So any last questions for me, darling?
From me or from the others?
You, for you. Yeah. Any last questions?
No, I think it's that. So I've been on this path for the past 15 years, and I've been trying to do my best because I wasn't in the relationship. So I knew my parenthood hopefully will come late. So I've done my best. And
you are doing awesome. Like, I think this is also the space for a lot of grace with yourself and compassion, and you will get there. You know, from my psychic spiritual side, I will say that with confidence, you will get there, you know. And that's the part I don't understand. Spirit Babies, I think, helps a lot too, if that feels right to you, to read that book and just open up to that side too of like, okay, where is this guiding me? Where is this sending me? How is this going to help my service? And that you're not broken, and there's nothing wrong, you know, even though it feels that way right now. 2 losses absolutely suck, but you're not broken, and there's nothing wrong, and you're going to figure this out. Okay. And you're going to keep me posted.
You will be the first one to know. Okay. Definitely.
Okay.
I'm really grateful, and let me tell you that every single time you own it, it gives me a lift, it gives me motivation. And I'm sure I'm speaking for thousands of women around the world. So thank you so much for all the work you offer.
And thank you for being so brave to come on here and share your story, because you help so many women just with sharing. So thank you so much. Okay, I can't wait to hear from you. But you take a little break right now, and we're going to get back to baby making soon. Okay, I love you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You too. Oh, guys, this is just amazing. I'm loving this. So again, these are brief. I usually spend, when I work with clients, I spend 60 minutes getting all the details on their case, and then formulate a whole, you know, plan. And, but, you know, and I take quick notes. You see all my notes on her because it's how my brain works. But right away, I think uterine environment. What can I do to enhance that uterine environment? What can I do to manage the pain, manage the clots? Those tell me there's stagnation and there's cold. And, you know, and of course, and she said it and she knows it. There's healing that has to go on there too emotionally, because it's just devastating to have it be so easy and then be taken away so quickly, which you guys get. You can check out Annetta's website or her profile too, because she's in the business of helping women live their best life, and knows a lot about nutrition and lifestyle and all those things. So when she said her thyroid was in normal range, I trust that she knows what she's talking about, because I did some research on her earlier today, because she posted on the comment, and it's, for some reason I was like, I think I have to pull this girl on today. And so I did wait for you, young lady. And so I trust that she knows what she's talking about. But TSH should be between a 1 and a 2, max a 2.5. It can be a little below a 1. You shouldn't have thyroid antibodies. Your free T3 and free T4 should be right smack in the middle of that range. First thing you should get checked. And then when I see losses like that, two back to back, I automatically recommend a miscarriage panel, which is also known as a clotting factor panel. A hematologist can do that for you. Again, I'm not a doctor, but this is what I've seen from my clinical experience. And then a couple tweaks, you know, to her diet and her supplements. And I think it will really help her, and, you know, she'll keep us posted. So you guys are awesome. Let me see if there's more questions here. So sorry for your losses. You guys are so sweet. Okay, someone posted the cod liver oil capsules. Thank you. Yeah, you could go to all my recommended supplements are on my website under aimeeraupp.com under shop, I think. I have my fertility quiz on there. I have info on my books on there. I talked about the clots. How long can herbs last for? I was giving a formula in 2019. They should still be good, but you may have changed. So I do like to change up my herbs every couple months, you know, make sure that my clients are, unless it's a very basic constitutional formula. You guys, I was with you last time. Unfortunately, I guess it didn't work and I'm not pregnant, very sadly. I'm taking some time off and then back again. Thank you for your help. Okay. So then Erica, listen, you know, just watch that one again of us and take in some more of that advice. Okay. And I send you love and I'm sorry, but you're going to get there. You're going to get there. For women over 40 and over, what supplements and dosages do we need to be taking? Any good prenatal? So again, head to my website. Everything's listed on there. Read my books. Everything's in there. And the Wellness Designer, that is Annetta's website. Okay, so I'm going to go because I got some more work to do today, but I love you guys. And I'm going to be back in 2 weeks with one of these again. And so the Fertility Hot Seats are every other Monday, I think, at this time, but they might be different times each week. I'm not sure. What resources do you recommend for me? I'm studying to be a fertility doula. Anything by Deborah Betts is amazing. She's an acupuncturist and a midwife. You know, I do love my book, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. I also love Lisa Henderson-Jack's book, The Fifth Vital Sign. Nicole Jardim, Fix Your Period. So there's some really good resources out there. Yeah. Okay. Deborah Betts. Right. Did I say Deborah Betts? Yeah, Deborah Betts. Betts. She's amazing. And most of the doulas know her work, and it's her work helps a lot with the doula aspect and in inducing labor and delivery and postpartum and all that. Okay. Ciao for now. I'll see you guys later.